I want to introduce you to Metro Ride, but before I do, let me introduce you to the guys behind it. Girish Nagpal, who is the CEO and co-founder down there, and Kaman Agarwal, who's the CTO and co-founder at Metro Ride. Good to have you here. How are you doing? Kaman's right now all the way in Silicon Valley. So, Kaman, what time is it right now?
And that's the most frequent question I get asked these days. Okay, it's 1:40 in the morning.
Well, 1:40 in the morning. The funny thing is that when it comes to, how do I say this, a person calling you at 1:40 in the morning, it would probably be Girish. So, like, if your better half gets any worried or anything, it's just Girish from Bangalore.
You're right. You're right.
Girish, what about you? Everything okay? All going fine?
Absolutely. A very good morning, Kay, and happy to be here and looking forward to this conversation.
What I want to really start with is, of course, Metro Ride is a Bangalore and San Francisco based EV startup. Now, you guys provide first and last mile connectivity. And, metro lines in Bangalore, they've been plying, let's just say, construction for too long. I have grown old waiting for the metro to finish in Bangalore. So, from that perspective, where did you guys kind of decide? Let's just start with this, to say venture into the EV market and put up something like Metro Ride. And before you tell me that story, I'd love for Kaman to tell us actually what Metro Ride exactly does. Like, when we say you're in the EV market, what do you do?
So Metro Ride, think about Metro Ride like a smaller version of Uber, but dedicated to metro stations only. This really started around a year ago when I was visiting India and I was in Bangalore meeting Girish. And Girish was screaming a lot about his commute to work every day. And also the fact that, he tried the metro, but getting to the metro station itself
Is
is
a
a
pain.
pain. And there was no solution. And I was able to relate to it very much because I feel exactly the same pain in US, right? When I have to go to the San Francisco city, I use the metro over here and there is no solution to get to the metro station over here too, right? And that's where we decided that this is something that we should try solving, and that's where it started.
So typically it would be like a rickshaw that comes and picks me up.
Yes. So it's different form factors. In India, it's a three-wheeler, electric three-wheeler, and in US, it's an electric car. So our idea was to make the first and the last mile green as well. Metro is green already. So no point burning fuel, getting to the metro station, getting to something that is green. So that's why we deployed all electric vehicles both in India and US.
Girish, what made you kind of team up with a friend to put up an EV startup? Like, how did that little fun story happen?
See, we've been friends for over a decade now. So we used to be roommates way back in 2007-8 in Pune. And we've had these like numerous conversations that we should definitely do something together because Kaman comes with through and through tech background and I am from a business background, right? And we would have discussed hundreds of business ideas. Some things I would like, he would short it down and similar things, vice versa, right? So this was something which both of us could connect to. And sustainability was something we always felt for that because if you are building something which you would be running for next 5, 7, 10 years, it has to be something which has a huge impact, right? So those were the things which forced us to jump into it together. And yes, there is a problem which I face staying in South Bangalore when the metro started at JP Nagar. I was so excited that the 1.5 hour drive I would be able to use to read, right? But reaching the metro station itself was such a huge challenge which I never thought of, and that's where it started. And I saw my colleagues walking right from Vedant Sauda to Cunningham Road every single day, coming with two pair of shoes. And this was so vivid when we were discussing this with Carmen, and he narrated a very similar incident in
Right.
San Francisco. And that is how a common problem which both of us could connect to. And of course, all this friendship to work together was always in us, right? And the synergies we bring onto the
Nice.
table. That was one of the biggest reasons to work together and solve a problem which not only us but millions and billions of people actually across the globe face every single day.
I want to say one thing though. There was one thing that you said in your entire whatever you just said. and that you said that you were in South Bangalore. See, the difference between you and I, let me tell you this fundamentally, is that I'm a North Bangalore boy. You at least have the metro, okay? You have roads as well. We in North Bangalore, we poor folk in North Bangalore, we don't have roads also. Forget metro. So, come on, I'm waiting for you to kind of build a tech startup based on, I don't know, maybe some dirt bikes or something that I can use in these potholes. It'll be the next level of X Games in the north of Bengaluru. I'm just saying. If you could work something out for me, that'll be great.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Maybe the next Squid Games
The
happens in
next Squid
Bangalore
Games,
now.
I like it. Cool.
But,
Okay.
but the good news is North Bangalore is definitely getting connected. I know it takes time, like all good things. Metro is also taking its own time, but I'm sure it's going to, like the way Delhi is today, right? From the whole NCR, from Noida to Gurgaon to Faridabad, everything is so damn seamlessly connected using
Uh,
metro. I just hope our Nama Bengaluru also gets the same very soon.
I hope so too, man.
Then okay, we will
Um,
not be too far from south and north. Yep.
yeah, I know it'll take a less amount of time. Let's kind of discuss the EV market. Talking about the EV market, what's some of the biggest hurdles that the EV market kind of faces? Let's start in India. Let's make this more relevant to India and more specific to Bangalore. I'll start with Kaman. Kaman,
Can you say that again? Okay, I missed the question.
what are some of the hurdles that you feel the EV market in India and Bengaluru kind of face at the moment? Is it largely just the infrastructure, or is there more to
It's
it?
it's actually multiple things there. Okay, so first, I think the first problem is the mindset that we have right now in India. That people have this range anxiety. Right, I know that I'm going to be driving only 20 kilometers today, but just because I'm driving a EV vehicle, I will always have that anxiety. What if I run out of charge? Right, I can't even have a bottle of or a can of fuel to refill it. So that's the first problem. Second problem is that charging infrastructure is a big problem over there in India. In US, it's pretty much sorted because you have superchargers there. In
Mm,
India, to have those superchargers itself is a long way to go.
right.
So those two are the main, and the third problem being that the electric vehicles are a little expensive, so adoption is a little slower because of that. But all these three problems are gradually getting solved. I mean, the speed that all this is being solved in India is much faster than what happened a couple of years ago in US.
That's
Right
good to
here,
hear.
it's very slow, but India adopts things very fast.
Right.
Right, it's just in a matter of 2 years that I see everybody talking about EV today in India. Right, everybody who buys a car today thinks about EV first.
Correct.
That
Correct.
should I look at an EV vehicle? And only if you cannot afford a EV vehicle is where people go to an IC car, kind of car. And
Makes sense.
government is playing a big part in that. Helping startups like us set up stuff in India. And the large corporates, Tesla is there now. All the Indian companies, car manufacturers, are building electric cars, setting up the infrastructure. So I mean, it's a matter of time. In a few months, these problems would be all bygones, right? And we would have
I'm hoping you're right,
EVs
Kaman.
everywhere.
I really am hoping you're
Yeah.
right because being in a place where I'm also looking at, say, picking up my next four wheeler, I don't want to go for a IC engine. I just don't. I'm pretty sorted. Even if a car is a little bit more expensive, I don't mind it because it makes me feel less guilty, if that makes any sense to a lot of people out there. Girish, what I want to ask you is when it comes to India, and come and just so beautifully put on the problems that we face. But from a Bengaluru perspective, take us through some recent developments that have really brought us a long way.
Sure. So Bangalore actually is the hub of the startup we all know. Even for electric, if you look at, there are some wonderful companies operating out of Bangalore who are actually changing the whole face of EV ecosystem as such, right? So I would not see these as problems, whatever Carmen mentioned, because this is like a any product life cycle or a technology life cycle, right? So when you start, definitely there would be some people who would be early adopters. There are challenges. There are
Yeah.
infrastructure to be built around it, but that's not a problem. It's anything new which is coming up would take time. That's how I feel when we started. We've seen the mobile. You look much younger, but we've seen those days when we used to literally pay 51 rupees for an incoming call on a mobile, right? So it all
And
started from there, coming to today, right? So it definitely takes time because the Airtel or the Vodafones of the world were building the infrastructure then, right? And same with the what happened with the IOCLs and BPCLs of the world, building the petrol stations and stuff, right? So what comes first? So everything is happening together, but we are glad that India is actually lucky to be switching or skipping one full generation of technology, which was the hybrid vehicles. Common would know that
Got it.
hybrid was very popular in US, which is now moving to
Yeah.
full electric, right? So we are not even going there. So we are actually skipping one full technology step. And thanks to the policy and the things or the initiatives done by the state as well as the central government, there is so much happening. If you talk about Bangalore, we have companies which are actually working on alternate chemistries, right? Not just lithium ion. There are aluminum cells. There are hydrogen stuff being worked out to ensure that how do we get batteries which can actually give you a 800,000 kilometers run in one go, right? Then there
Super,
are
super.
infrastructure companies like our partner company called Sun Mobility, which is one of the pioneers in setting up infrastructure for charging, right? So this is a company run by Mr. Chetan Mani, who also created Reva, the first electric car
Yeah.
of India 20 years back, right? So there is a lot of good work happening, and we work with OEMs like Piaggio, Mahindra. Everybody is doing so much in terms of electric to ensure that this future is no more a future. It is actually coming today itself. It becomes a present
Super.
as soon as possible. Yeah.
But while you say all this, there's an important aspect of leveraging something like AI and IoT to deliver all that data and make it a very hassle-free experience. Come on, I'd love your thoughts on that, on integrating that. It's become almost like second nature, to integrate it. Like if you don't have it, you're falling behind almost when you're putting up an EV.
Yeah.
Am I right?
You're right. You're right. So when we were starting this whole idea of Metro Ride, okay, we were very clear on one fact that we're not going to start a transport company. It is going
Right.
to be a tech company, right? And we did not want to force fit AI anywhere. There's a lot of force fitting that we see today in this tech world. But for us, AI was like the central nervous system of our system. So every process that we currently have, starting from booking a ride to finding who the right driver is, matchmaking between a woman driver and a woman rider, all of that happens through our AI engine today.
Right.
And then connectivity was another big thing that we were looking at, because we are talking about hundreds of vehicles, hundreds of drivers, so they have to be all connected to each other, and that's where IoT was a very, very important thing. That I should be able to see from wherever I am where my drivers are, right? And how they're performing, how fast are they going, are they driving properly or not, to an extent that we can actually see inside the vehicles in a POC that we are currently doing.
Got
That
it.
we have installed these cameras that can help with safety as well. So that is where AI and IoT played a very important role in our journey.
Very cool. And largely from the EV space, something that I'd also like to ask you is, what are future trends that we're seeing? Come on, I think you'd be able to give us a great idea of this being say in San Francisco. What are some trends that we're seeing there that are yet to come to India? So by that logic, India has a lot of space to grow as well in this beautiful EV market.
I think the obvious thing here, Kay, is the movement to an autonomous kind of vehicle or a self-driving vehicle, right? We know Apple has this secret project everybody talks about, going on somewhere in thousands of acres that nobody knows where it is. We know Tesla is working towards it, GM is working towards it.
I think it was Area
Everybody's
51, if I'm not mistaken.
yes, I think that's what it is. Some airbase somewhere
Yeah.
that they've rented. So that's going to come very soon. It's going to come sooner than we think it would. Right? I have autonomous cars running right next to where I live, right, on a test drive. Now they're testing those vehicles. So in the next couple of years, we would see autonomous cars on the roads over here. And similarly, that is going to come to India also very soon. As Girish mentioned, that India is working towards setting up the infrastructure, setting things up over there. In fact, Tesla is there in India now. Right? Tesla would probably be the first company to go autonomous, right? And that makes me believe that India is not too far from autonomous too.
Right. Girish, but I think you'd agree. We've got to fix the roads if any semblance of any AI is going to work on these roads, man. Like, the day we build an AI that can dodge potholes, we have arrived in life. Wouldn't you agree?
I'm sure we have our own challenges in the country, but I'm sure there would be use cases where definitely AI and IoT would have direct correlations. But I agree with you. The infrastructure in our country definitely needs to improve. And connecting people to metro and pushing the metro ridership itself is one of our first use cases, right? So of course we would want people to be connected to every high frequency destination. So we started with metro, right? Imagine people have the option of metro where of course the potholes are not an issue. You'll be surprised that just if you talk about Nama Metro, and that's the case with almost every metro system across the country, we're running less than 40% of the projected numbers, right? When they
Right.
built Metro, spent billions of dollars, they knew that okay, this many people will come. Actually, those many people are not coming, and the biggest reason is the first and last mile connectivity, right?
Got it.
So
Yeah.
of course, North
So
Bangalore
that's why
doesn't
you
have.
guys want to step in and actually solve that before things go elsewhere. Am I right in saying that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yes. So
Perfect.
lesser people would definitely mean lesser potholes. Since we are trying to reduce the number of people and vehicles on the road, that's also one of the outcomes of our initiative.
Awesome. And actually, what I really, my last and parting note with you guys is of course, right tariffs of yours start from just rupees 10. There's the average ticket size of about rupees 14. Of course, if we are to look at this for the long run, there needs to be a sustainable way to sustain the EV. Everything right from the infrastructure to the vehicles to the even the drivers who drive them to the charging and everything all bundled into one. There's a need for to do some things sustainably, and with a price point of something like an average ticket size of rupees 14, it looks great to the end user right now. But obviously this will change. So before I let you go, let me ask you, how much do you see this changing monetarily for the consumer? Is it due to become more expensive before it becomes cheaper? Or how many years am I talking, from? Come on, let's start with you.
So the tariff that we have currently, K, that's going to stay for long, right? The way we would scale is by adding volume to it, right? So that 14 rupees is going to become much bigger from our perspective because the volume would make it look bigger for us, right? So that's how we have structured uh, our our pricing. So for the daily commuter, I think the main issue was the price points, right? People have to be able to use it on a daily basis in a more affordable way compared to a Ola or a Uber, which charges a lot of money, and it's not something that is built for a daily commuter. That's what made us decide that price point of 14 rupees average.
Awesome. Girish, how many years are we talking? Like, to have a developed market in India, if you were to project the same, I mean, I know there's no one way to kind of say this, but in your head, what are you kind of hoping for? Which is the year that you're kind of gunning for?
I think if you talk from our business perspective, next 3 years is going to be very, very crucial, right? So within 3 years, we are looking at full-fledged. I think Nama Metro would be almost developed, covering at least 70% of Bangalore, right? And of course, we are looking at in parallel. We are in Delhi, Noida already, so we are
Mm.
soon expanding in Hyderabad and Kochi and other metro systems, right? But I think next 3 years, we would have not just as metro ride, but even the electric mobility and the last mile ecosystem, I think, would be much more developed. And I'm sure there would be other players who would jump in and try to solve the problem of the daily commuter. Because more people use metro, the greener our cities would be, the more sustainable our development would be.
Fantastic. Kaman, Girish, it's been a pleasure chatting with you both, and I wanted to thank you for taking out the time. I wish you both all the very best. Really, the EV market and the EV space is something that I'm really gunning for. In fact, honestly, if I'm being 100% honest with you, I just picked up in a couple of EV stocks this morning. So I really
Very
want
nice.
you guys to grow. I want to say
Thanks, Kay.
thank
That's
you so much.
wonderful.
It's been really, really fantastic, and here's hoping that we have a cleaner and greener future ahead of us. Thank you so much.
94.3 Radio 1.